Hey, Jonathan here at Colfax Math. I'm going to go over how to make this sign, starting with milling and ending with the laser.
Measure the height. Yeah, no, measure the width from here to here.
Laminated overnight on a CNC cut jig. Power's out in the high school wood shop. Doing cutting boards, just doing prep with hand saws. Just cross cutting. Too many other tools out here, but mostly just milling lumber, cleaning up. Beautiful cedar log here, maybe 14 foot long, cutting 2x10s, staying pretty square. Build down to about a half of an inch. So anything about a half inch is fine. I'm going to mill it to about a half inch. I could really use any kind of scrap I want. I'm going to use a caliper, check the thickness of this board, and then I'm going to plane it, and then plane it again. So that my finished planing thickness Now that I'm here, I really don't want to work with the knots and the breaks and the checks. So I'm going to cross cut it on a chop saw. I do not have a straight edge. This is really very important here. I do not have a straight edge. If I drop this thing on here and push it back, as I cut through, it's going to fold and bind that blade. So I need to hold it straight down. I'm going to do that with a clamp. And I'm just trying to square it up. Actually, I'm just trying to get rid of a lot of that edge. I'm going to square it up here. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I actually probably should have done this before I planed it. There's really no need to run this big knot through the planer when I'm going to throw it away anyway. So I'm just cutting that off. But I'm surface 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go to the table saw and rip. Side square to this. And this side perpendicular as well. Now I'm surfaced on all 6 sides. If I want, I can make my sign this big, but this is kind of your starting place. You could do this really efficiently if you use a big board. 3 of you use a large board and then just cross cut it into 3 pieces. Or 6 of you could use a longer board and then rip it and rip it into 2 and then cross cut it into 3. Everybody good with the wood here? And then from here we go to Corel Draw, and then the last step will be make the little piece. What I'm going to do is open up Corel Draw 2018. I go File, New, and I set my paper size to the size of my board. So the board I cut out there was 16 inches in the X direction and 3.5 in the Y direction. This is really important right here. It has to be RGB, otherwise you won't be able to cut through there, Ryan. So I hit OK. There's my board. First thing I'm going to do is create a text box. I'm going to type in there B. And then once I type it in there, I'm going to highlight it and change the font size. And then now that I can see it, I'm going to change that font style. I kind of have a signature font I like to use. So there's B. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to create another text box right here. thankful. Same thing, I'm going to highlight it. And then I'm going to change that font style as well. And it, because my board is the same size as my workplace, I could see how much room I'm going to have. So I'm actually going to go to like 120 size font. And just because I can't see it here, just because my text box is too small. I do need a little bit of room on the edges because that board's going to fit into that dado. And then I'm going to go File, Import. I save my silhouette on my desktop. I'm going to use that one there. I'm going to drop it in right there. Then once I have that image in there, the first thing I do is I go Trace, Bitmap, Outline Trace, Logo. And then when I do this, a couple of important things I need to remember. One is I have to delete my original image and remove my background. So that looks good. So there's my pumpkin. That would be a bold engrave if I want, or I could just have those little black pieces fall out of my wood and maybe put a piece of orange paper behind there. Okay, so the way I do that is I'm going to go up here to the outline. So this little pen is my outline. To let the universal laser know it's going to be a cutout, I need to let it know it's a hairline. Not only is it a hairline, it has to be RGB 25500. So it doesn't need to look red. It has to be the exact red of 25500. Enter. And then I can see there that it's outlined. After I'm done with the outlines, I go up to my fill bucket here, and I don't want any fill. So now those are hairline reds. I'm going to drop it in here. When I went up there and traced it into a vector, the important thing about a vector is it's a magnitude and direction. So scaling it keeps the exact same style. So there it is. There's my Be Thankful sign. You know, that universal laser could only cut about 1/4 inch of cedar at a time. So there it is all run. And then we'll put it up on a different color background in the back. Right in there. A little bit tight.